When we talk about health after 60, most people imagine pills, blood pressure checks, maybe some exercises. Very few think about the glass they hold in their hand every morning or afternoon. Yet that glass can be the quietest and most dangerous influence on the body. Every sip has the power to either support your heart, your brain, your joints, or slowly erode them without you noticing. This is especially true for seniors, because with age, the body's defenses are no longer the same. The kidneys filter less efficiently, the liver becomes more sensitive, and the balance of electrolytes in the blood can shift much faster. Something that felt harmless at 40 can turn into a real burden at 70. I want you to imagine this. A man, let's call him Peter, 72 years old. He wakes up, pours himself the same drink he's had for decades, and sits by the window. It feels like routine, comfort, habit. He doesn't think twice. But that very drink is raising his blood sugar, dehydrating his cells, stressing his arteries, and setting him up for another day of hidden damage. Peter doesn't feel it right away, of course. Most seniors don't. The body is patient, it tolerates a lot. But quietly, in the background, pressure builds, veins harden, kidneys strain. And months later, when the doctor announces another prescription or warns about the risk of a stroke, Peter thinks, but I didn't do anything wrong. That's the tragedy, because what feels normal may actually be fueling decline. One of the cruelest facts about aging is how subtle these changes are. A younger body can adapt, buffer the sugar rush, handle the salt load, process the caffeine shock. But after 60, your heart muscle is not as elastic, your blood vessels are less flexible, and your metabolism is slower. That means the same drink now lingers in your system longer, pushing your blood pressure higher or disturbing your sleep more severely. Doctors sometimes call these beverages silent saboteurs because they don't cause a sharp pain or an obvious reaction. Instead, they quietly chip away at strength, balance, and vitality. Think about the role of hydration. Water is life, everyone knows that. But what many seniors don't realize is that some of the most popular drinks don't hydrate at all. They do the opposite. They pull water out of your body, leaving your cells thirstier than before. This is why so many older adults complain of fatigue, dizziness, or brain fog. It's not always age. Sometimes it's the drink in the cup. Here's another way to see it. Imagine your body is like a garden. Every cell is a flower, delicate, needing the right balance of water and nutrients. If you pour pure, clean water, the flowers perk up, the colors shine. But if you pour sugary soda or alcohol or heavy caffeinated drinks, it's like pouring something that scorches the roots. At first, the flowers still look fine, but over time they dry out, wither, lose resilience. That is exactly what happens inside the body of a senior who regularly chooses the wrong beverages. Every glass of this drink works against your heart. Every can of that beverage makes your bones weaker. It may feel refreshing, but in reality, it's stealing your strength day by day. These are not dramatic words. This is biology. Because sugar raises inflammation, salt burdens the kidneys, alcohol strains the liver, and caffeine disturbs the delicate rhythm of the heart. Seniors don't have the luxury of ignoring these effects. Each choice matters more because the margin of safety is smaller. I often tell my patients, after 60, your body is like a finely tuned violin. The strings are delicate, they can play beautifully, but only if handled with care. Strike them too hard and they snap. The beverages you choose are like the musician's hand. Gentle, careful choices create harmony. Harsh, careless ones create damage. And the saddest part is, many people never realize which drinks are harming them until the damage is advanced. So, in this conversation, I want to walk with you step by step through the most common beverages that can harm your health. Not exotic, not rare, but everyday drinks found in almost every kitchen, cafe, or store. Some may surprise you because they are advertised as healthy or energizing. Others you already suspect, but maybe underestimate how deeply they hurt the aging body. We will explore why these drinks are risky, what exactly they do inside your body, and most importantly, what you can do instead. Because knowledge only helps if it leads to better choices, and better choices can mean fewer medications, fewer hospital visits, and more years of strength and clarity. As we go through this, keep in mind it's not about fear, it's about awareness. No one is asking you to give up all pleasure, to never enjoy a glass of something you love. But once you understand what happens inside your body after that sip, you gain control. You can balance, adjust, replace, and protect yourself. And that control is one of the greatest gifts of healthy aging. Let's begin with one of the most underestimated dangers: sugary drinks. Sodas, sweetened teas, flavored waters, even some juices that claim to be natural. For a younger person, one can of soda may just mean extra calories. But for a senior, it's far more serious. Why? Because sugar doesn't just raise blood glucose, it fuels inflammation throughout the body. Imagine tiny sparks landing in every organ: the pancreas, the liver, the blood vessels. Each spark by itself is small, but together, day after day, they create a slow fire. And inflammation is the hidden engine behind many age-related diseases: arthritis, memory decline, clogged arteries, even certain cancers. Think about how many seniors complain of joint stiffness or swelling in the morning. It is easy to blame old age, but a hidden factor is often sugar. Studies show that even moderate sugar consumption raises inflammatory markers in the blood. This means every sweetened beverage is not just a little treat. It's adding more fuel to a fire you already have trouble controlling. And here's the cruel irony: many seniors drink juices thinking they are healthier than soda. Yet some juices contain as much sugar as a can of cola. A glass of orange juice can hold the sugar of 4 or 5 oranges, but without the fiber to slow it down. That sugar hits the bloodstream fast, causing spikes, crashes, and long-term strain. Doctors sometimes call these beverages liquid candy, and they are especially dangerous because the body doesn't register them as food. You don't feel full, you can drink hundreds of calories without noticing, and your blood vessels pay the price. Imagine pouring sticky syrup through a narrow pipe every day. Over time, the pipe stiffens, clogs, corrodes. That's what happens in arteries, leading to higher risk of heart attack or stroke. For a senior whose arteries are already less flexible, this risk is multiplied. Now let's turn to another common culprit: excess caffeine. Coffee is not the enemy in itself. In fact, a moderate amount can even be protective. But the way many people consume it after 60 becomes a problem. A strong morning coffee followed by another cup at lunch, then perhaps tea in the evening. The total caffeine load adds up. And what does caffeine do to an older body? It speeds the heart, raises blood pressure, and interferes with sleep. I often meet patients who tell me, "Doctor, I only sleep 5 hours, but that's just aging." No, often it's the caffeine. The older brain is more sensitive to stimulants. A cup of coffee at 2 in the afternoon can still disturb sleep at midnight. Poor sleep, in turn, weakens memory, accelerates muscle loss, and raises blood sugar. It becomes a vicious circle. You feel tired, you drink more coffee, you sleep worse, and the cycle repeats. There's also another danger. In seniors, the kidneys process caffeine more slowly. That means caffeine lingers in the system longer, amplifying its effects. The jitteriness, the palpitations, the anxious feeling many older adults describe, these are not just nerves. They are the body's way of saying, "This is too much." Every glass of strong coffee, every energy drink, every heavily caffeinated tea works like a silent thief, stealing rest, stealing balance, stealing calm. Now let's talk about alcohol. Many seniors think a glass of wine is healthy, right? And yes, some studies showed benefits of small amounts. But here's the key: the aging liver is not the same as a young liver. After 60, the enzymes that break down alcohol work more slowly. That means alcohol stays in your system longer, stressing the liver, irritating the stomach, raising blood pressure. And for seniors taking medications, which is most, alcohol can create dangerous interactions. Picture this: Mary, 68 years old, takes pills for her heart and blood pressure. She enjoys a nightly glass of wine. She feels relaxed, but inside, the wine is blocking her liver from processing her medication properly. The drug stays in her body longer, causing dizziness, confusion, and increased fall risk. One night she loses balance and breaks a hip. It all began with a habit she thought was harmless: That's why doctors call alcohol in seniors the multiplier. It multiplies risk, side effects, and dangers. Finally, let's not forget artificially sweetened drinks. Many seniors switch from sugar to diet sodas, believing they are safe. But research shows artificial sweeteners can still confuse the metabolism, alter gut bacteria, and raise cravings. Some studies even suggest links to higher risk of stroke or dementia in older adults. So even when the label says zero sugar, it doesn't mean zero risk. Every one of these drinks may seem small on its own, but the body of a senior is like a fragile system of balances. Tip it once, it recovers. Tip it daily, and the damage adds up until one day it becomes irreversible. That's why awareness is the most powerful first step. In the next part, we will look more deeply at why the senior body reacts so differently and how seemingly small beverage choices ripple through the heart, brain, bones, and memory. And of course, we'll talk about practical replacements that can protect, refresh, and truly support longevity. To truly understand why these beverages are so harmful, we need to look at what changes in the body after 60. Many people think of aging only as wrinkles on the skin or gray in the hair, but the real aging happens inside, in the organs, in the very cells. And the way drinks interact with these changes is what makes them so dangerous. Start with the heart and blood vessels. In youth, arteries are flexible, expanding and contracting like soft rubber tubes with every heartbeat. By 60 or 70, those same vessels are stiffer, more like fragile hoses that don't bend easily. When you pour in drinks loaded with sugar or salt, the blood pressure rises and the stiff vessels cannot handle the pressure smoothly. Each surge pushes against the walls, creating micro tears. The body tries to repair them with cholesterol deposits, which eventually turn into blockages. That's why seniors who think it's just one soda a day don't realize that each soda is like hammering gently on an already cracked wall. Sooner or later, the wall gives way. Then there's the brain. Many seniors complain of forgetfulness, slower thinking, or difficulty concentrating. They assume it's just age, but often drinks play a role. Sugary beverages, for instance, cause rapid spikes in blood glucose. The brain, which runs on glucose, suddenly gets a flood. It responds with a rush of activity, followed by a sharp crash. That crash leaves the brain foggy, irritable, even anxious. Over time, repeated glucose swings damage small blood vessels in the brain, reducing blood supply to critical areas. This is one reason why high consumption of sugary drinks is linked to a higher risk of dementia. Caffeine, too, has a tricky effect. In moderation, it can sharpen alertness, but in an older brain, it also blocks the natural signals that say, rest now. Without rest, the brain cannot clear toxins efficiently. There's a fascinating process called the glymphatic system. It works mostly at night, when you sleep. Think of it like a cleaning crew that washes away waste products. If caffeine keeps you awake or fragments your sleep, that cleaning crew never finishes the job. And year after year, the waste builds up. This buildup is strongly linked to memory decline and diseases like Alzheimer's. So when a senior says, I just can't sleep deeply anymore, often the coffee cup from earlier in the day is part of the answer. Now let's move to the bones and joints. After 60, bones naturally lose density. Calcium leaches out faster, and the body builds new bone more slowly. Drinks with excessive caffeine or alcohol accelerate this loss. Caffeine increases calcium excretion in the urine, meaning every cup can take a little more calcium away. Alcohol, on the other hand, interferes with the body's ability to absorb vitamin D and calcium, leaving bones weaker and more fragile. Imagine a chair that has been sturdy for decades, but with every glass of the wrong drink, one screw loosens. Eventually, a simple fall can break the whole frame. That's why hip fractures are so common in seniors and why doctors pay so much attention to bone health. Joints, too, are sensitive. Sugar fuels inflammation, as we mentioned. That inflammation doesn't just attack blood vessels, it also seeps into the joints. Seniors with arthritis often feel worse after periods of high sugar intake. They think the weather is to blame, but in reality, it may be the sweetened coffee or evening soda. Each sip is like adding oil to a small fire already burning in the knees or fingers. And then there's sleep, one of the most underestimated factors of aging well. The older body already has a harder time maintaining deep restorative sleep. Add alcohol, caffeine, or sugary drinks, and the quality of sleep drops even lower. Alcohol may help you fall asleep faster, but it fragments the night, preventing deep rest. Sugary drinks destabilize blood sugar, causing nighttime awakenings. And caffeine, as we said, lingers in the system, keeping the brain too alert to settle into rest. Poor sleep doesn't just make you tired, it weakens immunity, increases appetite, slows healing, and accelerates cognitive decline. In fact, some researchers now consider poor sleep a predictor of early mortality on par with smoking. The tragedy is that many seniors normalize these symptoms. They think, of course I feel tired, I'm 70, or my bones hurt because of age. In truth, much of that suffering is not inevitable. It is amplified, even caused by everyday beverage choices. That's why awareness can be so powerful. Every glass you choose is like casting a vote for your future health. A sugary drink is a vote for inflammation and weakness. A heavy coffee late in the day is a vote for restless sleep and memory decline. Alcohol is a vote for fragile bones and risky interactions, but water, herbal teas, and carefully chosen alternatives, those are votes for vitality, balance, and strength. Doctors call beverages the hidden calories, but I prefer to call them the hidden levers. They are small, easy to overlook, but they control so much of the aging process. And once you see how they move your health forward or backward, you can take the lever in your own hands. In the next part, we will shift from the dangers to the solutions, what drinks truly support the senior body, how to replace harmful habits without feeling deprived, and how simple swaps can add years of clarity and independence. Now that we have seen the dangers, let us turn to the positive side, the choices that truly nourish and protect the aging body. Because the point is not to live in fear of every glass, but to build habits that strengthen you, calm you, and keep your system balanced. The most powerful ally, of course, is water. It sounds simple, almost boring, but for seniors it is nothing less than medicine. Dehydration is one of the most common hidden problems after 60. Why? Because the sense of thirst becomes weaker with age. Many older adults simply don't feel thirsty, even when their bodies are running low on fluid. By the time thirst appears, dehydration has already set in, and the symptoms are subtle: confusion, dizziness, fatigue. Families sometimes mistake them for dementia or illness when the real cause is not enough water. That's why doctors say, don't wait to feel thirsty, drink on schedule. A glass every couple of hours can prevent falls, improve focus, and keep the kidneys safe. But plain water doesn't have to be dull. You can make it more enjoyable without adding sugar. A slice of lemon or cucumber, a few mint leaves, or even berries can transform the experience. Think of it as giving your body a spa treatment from the inside. Every sip refreshes the cells, helps the brain, and eases the strain on the heart. Another safe and soothing option is herbal tea. Chamomile, peppermint, rooibos. These are naturally caffeine-free and bring gentle benefits. Chamomile calms the nerves and helps sleep. Peppermint eases digestion. Rooibos provides antioxidants without stimulation. Even green tea, in moderate amounts earlier in the day, can offer protective compounds that support the heart and brain. The key for seniors is moderation and timing. 1 cup of green tea in the morning, herbal teas in the evening. That rhythm supports energy without disturbing sleep. There's also a remarkable benefit in warm drinks in general. A warm cup of herbal tea in the evening can relax blood vessels, soothe the stomach, and create a sense of comfort that reduces the craving for alcohol or sugary beverages. I've seen patients replace their nightly glass of wine with chamomile tea, and within weeks their sleep improved, their blood pressure stabilized, and their mood lifted. Sometimes it's not about taking away, it's about giving the body something better. For those who miss the fizz of sodas, sparkling water can be a healthy substitute. The bubbles provide the same refreshing sensation, but without the sugar or artificial sweeteners. Add a slice of lime, and it feels just as festive as a soda, but with no hidden risks. This small switch can reduce hundreds of teaspoons of sugar over a year. Imagine the difference that makes to your arteries and your waistline. Another supportive choice is broth-based drinks. A warm cup of vegetable broth or light chicken broth hydrates, provides electrolytes, and comforts digestion. For seniors who struggle with appetite or nutrient absorption, broth can be a gentle way to give the body minerals without burdening it. It is especially helpful during colder months when the body craves warmth. And let's not forget milk alternatives. While regular milk may cause digestive discomfort in some seniors, almond, oat, or soy milk can be excellent substitutes. Fortified versions add calcium and vitamin D, supporting bone health. A warm cup of oat milk with cinnamon in the evening can be calming, filling, and protective all at once. One of the keys is to build rituals around these healthier choices. Instead of grabbing a soda thoughtlessly, prepare a pitcher of infused water in the morning and keep it on the table. Instead of pouring wine at night, light a candle and enjoy herbal tea in your favorite mug. Rituals make the replacement feel natural, even pleasurable, and soon the body begins to crave the new habit because it feels better. Every glass is a chance to vote for your well-being. And when you replace harmful drinks with healing ones, the body responds quickly. Blood pressure lowers, energy steadies, sleep deepens, and even mood improves. Seniors often tell me, I feel 10 years younger, simply after changing what they drink. That is how powerful these choices are. Remember, it's not about perfection. No one expects you to never touch a sweet drink or a glass of wine again. It's about shifting the balance. If 8 out of 10 drinks you consume in a week are water, herbal tea, or nourishing alternatives, your body will feel the difference. The damage slows, the healing begins, and the years ahead become stronger and more independent. The most inspiring part is that this change is within your control. You don't need a prescription, you don't need expensive treatments. The pharmacy is your kitchen and the medicine is in your glass. Once you understand this, every sip becomes an act of care, a gift to your future self. In the final part, we will tie everything together, the dangers to avoid, the replacements to embrace, and the inspiring truth that it is never too late to change. Because no matter your age, your next glass can move you closer to health, clarity, and strength. So now let us bring it all together. We have seen how common beverages, sugary drinks, excess caffeine, alcohol, even artificially sweetened sodas, quietly sabotage health after 60. We've looked at how they stress the heart, cloud the brain, weaken the bones, disturb the sleep, and we've also seen that the alternative, water, herbal teas, broths, gentle plant-based milks, can do the opposite. They can protect, soothe, restore. The most important truth I want you to carry is this: it is never too late. Many seniors feel discouraged, thinking the damage is already done, that habits are too old to change. But the body has an incredible ability to heal, even at 70 or 80. I have seen patients who reduced their sugary drinks and within weeks their blood pressure stabilized. I have seen people who cut evening coffee and suddenly began sleeping deeper than they had in years. One woman in her late 70s replaced her nightly wine with chamomile tea, and within months her mood improved, her memory sharpened, and her doctor reduced her medications. Change doesn't require perfection, it requires direction. Every better choice you make, every healthy glass you pour, shifts the balance in your favor. Think of your health as a scale. On one side, the risky drinks, heavy with sugar, caffeine, or alcohol. On the other side, the nourishing ones, light but powerful. Each sip is like adding a weight to one side or the other. Day by day, you decide which way the scale tips. And over time, those small daily decisions become the story of your health. Doctors sometimes call this the cumulative effect. It means that what matters most is not the occasional indulgence, but the regular pattern. If the pattern supports your body, you can enjoy the occasional treat without fear. But if the pattern is harmful, even small amounts add up quickly. For seniors, this is critical because the margin for error is smaller, but the potential for benefit is still great. Let me share a metaphor I often use with my patients. Imagine you are sailing a boat. At 60 or 70, the boat is older, the sails are a bit worn, the wood creaks, but it can still sail beautifully across the ocean. The key is the water you pour into the hull. If you pour in dirty, corrosive liquid, the boat sinks faster. If you pour in clean, fresh water, the boat stays afloat, steady, graceful. Your body is that boat, your drinks are the water, and you are the captain. Every glass of soda is like pouring rust into the hull. Every cup of herbal tea is like patching the wood and raising the sails higher. The choice is in your hands, and the beauty is, once you start choosing well, the rewards are not far in the future. They come quickly, more energy, clearer thinking, less pain, better balance, brighter mornings. And let's not underestimate the emotional side. Drinks are tied to rituals, comfort, even memories. Replacing them doesn't mean losing joy. It means creating new rituals that bring comfort without harm. A glass of sparkling water with lemon on the balcony, a warm mug of oat milk with cinnamon as you read in the evening, a thermos of peppermint tea shared with friends on a walk. These become new anchors of pleasure, and your body thanks you for them. Every glass of this drink works against your heart, but every glass of the right drink supports it. Doctors call harmful beverages silent killers, but I like to call the healthy ones silent healers, because they work quietly, invisibly, sip by sip, restoring balance where you don't even notice, until one day you realize you feel stronger, steadier, more alive. So here is my challenge to you. For the next week, just 1 week, try replacing one harmful drink each day with something nourishing. Swap soda for sparkling water with fruit. Swap wine for chamomile tea. Swap late coffee for warm oat milk. At the end of that week, notice how you feel. If you're like many of my patients, you'll find your sleep deeper, your mornings easier, your energy steadier. That small experiment might just convince you that change is worth it. Aging is not about decline, it is about adaptation, wisdom, and choosing what supports your body's journey. And while we cannot control everything, we can control what we drink. That power is in your hands every day with every sip. So the next time you lift a glass, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, is this glass working for me or against me? Then choose the one that builds your heart, your bones, your brain, your future. Because no matter your age, no matter your history, the path to vitality can begin with something as simple as what you pour into your cup.